forever for that keyboard to work. Yeah, just give me 1 sec. I'm just doing the sharings real quick, so I'll be there. gonna give it a few minutes and I'm gonna choose to fearmonger myself. Just so I can get this out of my head. Because I don't like where this is going. And just in case I say some things that don't make sense, I at least want people to validly hear my opinion as I talk about it. Don't mind Genshin Impact, this is just something easy to talk about. Oh no, I'm not worried about the gameplay, cause it's more me talking, so I can pause it in a second. Yeah. I'm not sure how to turn down game audio in this case. So let me see what I can do. There has to be a settings for like background noise. Sure, hold on. So how do I? Dialogue volume is loud. What if I drop dialogue volume down? Damn it, not again. Oh, L2 is to
Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this level okay? Can you hear Paimon?
If I turn that down, and then I turn the volume down, did it get any better? Just now. Oh, you never just turn motion blur. Oh, you can turn it off. Okay, that's good. All right. I'm just gonna do some Genshin stuff. Don't mind it. I'm just sorta. It's all good. Another random survey. I'll see what happens here. I'll come back, I guess. Well, no, I've gotten everything. That's good. I've gotten everything. That's good. I've gotten everything. I've gotten everything. Alright. Since I'm gonna choose to speculate, I'm just gonna choose a random waypoint and just walk. So, at least no. So I'm at least glad you guys are in. While I sort of fearmonger myself through what I'm doing. Because to be honest with you, I am more scared than I have ever been for a game that is not out. And it says a lot. And I know I'm probably doing a little too much where I'm just sort of, oh, you know, oh, you're doing a little bit too much. Oh, you're overthinking it. Blah, 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 and such and such and such. It's not a matter of if I'm fearmongering myself. It's a matter of there's a reason I'm fearmongering myself. And I kind of don't like where I'm going with this. So don't mind me, I'm just doing very short walk. I'm just doing like a long walk for no reason. But let me also kill something I don't want to do. Let me also kill something I don't want to do. Sure. Okay. And I'm pretty sure I have the waypoint set so I can walk. What are you doing? Thank you. I'm pretty sure I have it navigating to this thing. In it, damn it. Okay, no, it's navigating. That's good. Alright. So, now that we have that in mind, pardon me, let's talk about how much I am in fear of Tekken E and how much confidence I have in it now that Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1 have come out with some favorable yet questionable reviews. So, given how so much of everything has gone on between Street Fighter 6 and their skin pricing or dealing with a lot of problems with the fact that there's now a premium coin, it's kind of just one of those things where it's like really annoying that every day I have to keep wondering if a game that I used to like will always just keep resorting to doing something that shady, and I never like considering it. Because there's never a time when you ever want to consider that your favorite company, or at least in my case, a company that I used to think favorably of, would do something that's so underhanded. But on the other hand, why would I immediately take that out of my mind, knowing how everything's been so far? Sort of like, you know, you can't, no, so you can't judge a book by its cover, or don't, you know, or like don't count your eggs, like don't count your eggs before they hatch, or don't even try to even make a general assumption about something you don't have the full information about. It's very, it's a very scary thought. So I'm gonna do my best to articulate it in the best way I can possible. Because right now, I definitely can't. And it scares me to no end. And I definitely don't like having to deal with it. And so, because what's a, no, so because what's a good way of putting it? What's a good way of putting this? The lack of confidence that I have in Tekken 8 has now grown to some absolute, like, you know, it's sort of doubled now. Having sort of this fear why specifically? I think it's more just distrust versus like I think it's more distrust versus, like, you know, overall elation. Because mind you, this is not about game. This is not about any game that I would have excitement for. It's about realistically thinking: could there be a chance, and may there be a chance? Like 3 out of 10 times, it's like yes. Other times, it's kind of like am I really valid in being scared? Most of the time, it's no. Now, for the remainder of the time, it's a question of, well, does your validity in having this fear make it valid to be afraid? Now, it sounds like I just repeated myself, but there's a little bit of a nuance to it. You see, I'm fairly old right now. I'm sort of in my early 30s. So I have more adult responsibilities to take care of. You know, bills, and sort of going to work to make sure I have money to pay said bills. But as having something that's like nice to look forward to, because I always want to have something to look forward to. Otherwise, life would just be like pretty boring all the time. I always want to be the kind of person to have something that makes me genuinely excited to play it. But whenever that happens, and all of a sudden now I'm starting to then realize that, oh, what's the chance that something this unlikely might happen? And then I sort of scare myself into thinking, well, what if it does happen then? What is your next step if this does happen? And so then I sort of give myself the fair assessment of, okay, I can't climb that. I sort of give myself the fair assessment that, okay, what if, in one sense, the company chooses to not be that terrible, not be that shady, and sort of think about the long-term consumer first. I sort of eliminate, like, okay, well, what if I do that? What if I think that first? Okay, let me just think that. Because if I don't, then I would spend the entirety of my day going, well, I'm panicked and have no idea what to do. Sort of trying to get back to my train of thought here. Trying to think to myself, what would I do if they didn't do it? Well, let's say they didn't do it. If they didn't do it, then honestly, there would be more reasons for me to be happy for them than there would be for me to be afraid of doing something wrong. So in other ways, I would be more happy if they would just, you know, sort of validly just start, you know, being more transparent with their options than just resorting to the most general option of, we're gonna just run for the general consensus and just, you know, just give you the good old, you know, everything you're used to. Because even if they were to not give me, like, what I'm expecting, I would more be a happy guy and just go, okay, maybe there's a chance I can actually, like, you know, be able to play the game for once. And maybe, just maybe, I could be able to play a game for a couple years. Be able to, you know, enjoy a game for once without having speculation of, in the background, they're trying to make me spend money. When in reality, I don't want to spend money. I just want to play a game. I have a lot of other stuff to worry about. I'm not trying to burn a lot of my money on it, knowing that my money is going to some, like, company that just wants money in the end. And I really do hate that feeling. And I've only known my friends for so long, and they've known that I'm very skeptical half the time. They know that I will very much sort of talk myself out of buying a game if I am intent to, because I've done that before, and I definitely do hate doing that often. But when you see the writing on the wall, it sort of becomes obvious that it's kind of just there. So, I don't know why I did that. So, what I wanna say before anyone thinks that I'm just doing this for the sake of nothing, I'm not gonna do that. That requires a different thing. I might need Lisa, actually. Doesn't work. It doesn't work either. Okay. Nope, never mind. We'll do that tomorrow. explosive barrels box. So the big question is why? So the better question is not why do I fearmonger myself? What's the purpose of fearmongering myself? It's to make sure that I am as justified as possible in my opinions. I know that sounds dumb, but that little piece of me has, you know, that question that goes, hey, maybe I really do need to sort of take care of everything I need to first. Don't mind if I don't read the chat very quickly. Sometimes when I get in that conflict, I sort of like make sure that I deal with the minutes right at first. Shit, no, you don't. Oh, field burning, field burning, field burning, field burning. Jesus Christ. It's rude. Bird eggs, change side. Dead. No one else around? Cool. Alright, let me read here. I think I got the same feelings with Genshin actually. I put it down when I saw the... Didn't feel it again. Alright, so if your feelings felt similar to when you were playing Genshin, this is kind of just a more, it's kind of a more similar thing for me when it comes to how I approach every fighting game I start. It's more of, from every single piece of marketing that I see, it's always a question of, do I think they're going to? Because it'll immediately give me the opinion of how long I'll play it. Because I'll be perfectly honest with you. When Street Fighter V first came out and I hadn't bought it, because that's usually how I function, I don't usually buy a game in the first week, or even in the first month. In fact, I think I have a waiting time of 2 to 3 months when I buy it. Because sometimes I can't afford it, other times it's just a matter of, you know, wait to hear the news about it versus not doing anything about it. I always wait because there is something I'm looking for. And it's not necessarily looking for the negatives, but I'm looking for that peace of mind that comes from people actually getting a good reception from the game. Because believe you me, I try not to have these very negative receptions on games. I try not to. I really don't ever want to have a negative reception on a game and then immediately have to throw away my concern because now I have to go worry about, oh, this thing makes you waste money on skins, or they want you to use extra money or premium currency. I never want to I never really want to have to talk about that. But I'm not a journalist type. I'm a guy that looks to ask questions. And if getting an answer to those questions helps me get that peace of mind, I don't expect that people will understand where I'm coming from, but it's more of a peace of mind to me that those questions get answered first before I even consider getting the game. Because if something as simple as premium currency turns me off a game, I wouldn't be playing a lot of games now. I'd only ever be playing sequels of games I've never finished, or games I've never even started, or 35% indie games. It's kind of just, you know, a pay for pay. And believe you me, if there had ever come a time when games had started deteriorating in my sense, it should never have to appear. Because that would only go to show where I am as a person. Not just as a gamer, but as a person. it's sort of like I'm getting older, and then I perfectly understand. Shit. Boy. Boy. The sheer cold effect. Don't tell me it's like up there. That'd be annoying. Oh boy, didn't get someone that was immune to cold. That's great. I might start taking damage in sheer cold. But let's sort of. Oh, level 30. Boy. Let me leave. No gamer skill can save me from a level 30 where I don't do damage. Elemental damage or not, I'm not doing it. So, sort of like a... I would... Sort of like a... Let me try to put my worries at ease, but then realize that my worries probably have validity sometimes. Because when a game finally becomes where it's like actually playable, and people are coming in and they're not really making complaints, because I don't look to make complaints. I will admit there are times when I have made complaints about nothing, but at the same time, I will always be the first to admit that I will do that. But then usually when you like stop thinking about the problems of the game and just play the game and have fun, there's that level of like ignorance is bliss where you're just enjoying the game and not the problems with the game. But then something happens that sort of brings that reality back in. And then right when you think you've lost that chance and you're just in for the game, it just immediately breaks the fun. And now I'm immediately back at that feeling of, oh no, if they're doing this now, what would they do later? That's that same problem I had when I looked at Street Fighter 6 the first time. Because now what I usually do before I even choose to buy a game, I will usually check what the deluxe edition comes with. Because something like a deluxe edition will tell me what I'm looking for. Often, it's sort of like here is a blank, 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 and such. Here's a blank. Here's one and such. Don't ever really worry about it. What the hell? God, I don't know why it's pointing me to that. God dang it! Wait, the last one. Why you running, bro? That's that mission again. I really don't want to. Oh well. Guess I'm gonna have to teleport back, aren't I? Oh, common chest. Get some. Let me teleport back then. Because usually the way that I judge games is that I will start first. I will very much just start first. That was a bad way of putting that. Let me rephrase what I mean. When I start something, game-wise, I will always look at what the deluxe edition or the highest edition of the game comes with. And then once I get that, then I'll know what I'm looking for. Because there's an insight that I'm looking for constantly. Almost all the time. And once I get that, that will give me the most obvious thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for like a drive ticket or whatever type of currency the game is, or I'm looking for like a specific word meaning like a currency type. And half the time it's like never in an intent to start something. It's always in an intent of investigation. Sorry, what's that, loud fire noises here. They won't let me climb the thing. That's weird. I bet. That was great. So, this Lisa? Is this a Lisa thing? Maybe? Turn down the sound effects to avoid the noise. Okay. And they won't even let me get access to my settings? When I'm in the middle of a dungeon? Probably not. Oh, I have to blow those up? Okay, that's enough. Well, who's left for my sacrificing here? And, well. I hate it when I have to do that. Ugh. That's annoying. Veritably annoying. Trying to refresh our box here. Made it 3 times as harder now, didn't it? Probably more than made it 3 times as harder now, didn't it? Probably did. Because the wall isn't climbable. Alright, actually, let's do it for right now. I'll fail it for right now. That's for right now. So, to sort of get back to where I was. Looking at all the extra stuff on what would be the highest form of the game would be a way that I handle so it would be a way that I handle what I'm supposed to do. Great. What the heck? Oh, dear. Stop landing next to me. Where's you to eat? Shut up. Sort of looking inside the deluxe edition gives me a sort of a leeway step to what I would expect in the game. Best example would be, I know I keep using it, but it's the best way that I analyze games. When I look at Street Fighter 6, when I saw Street Fighter 6's Deluxe Edition on pre-order, there was something that drove me off a little bit, and it was the word drive tickets. Because now, usually, like, you don't know what anything is until you are fully aware of what it is. So you're always speculatively just going, okay, what is this? Is this sort of just, is this like some sense of a currency? Is it, what's it for? I have no clue necessarily what it's for. So you speculatively leave it out of your mind, and then you just go, okay, maybe for the sake of everything, it won't be that bad. But what if it is? Let me choose not. Let me choose not to unrecognize this problem. Instead, what I'll do is I will consider it in the future. So then I sort of leave that out, like, out of sight, out of sight, out of mind for now. But it's always somewhere in the back of my head. It's kind of like a wait list of concerns. But then immediately, the second you get that feeling, the second you know that someone complains specifically something in the extras department, it'll come back up. And what was my first thought? Look for a battle pass. Now, using Reddit, as fear-mongering as Reddit is, sometimes it's valuable because of what it shows you. Reddit showed me, for what I saw, confirmed screens of not only a battle pass, but a premium currency menu, or I think it's called a currency. It's called like a cash to currency, like an in-game cash to currency conversion. Well, sorry, it's like a premium coin. I don't want to use the long term. It had like a regular premium coin menu, and the second I saw that, immediately my mind slipped to Destiny. I may not have played Destiny, but something earlier has sort of speculated to the fact of, knowing this, they're gonna do something specifically with just these two. Not the $1 and like the $5, like the $1, the $5, and the $20, or the $1, the $5, the $10, and the $20. Because every game that has some sense of buying in-game currency with real-life money will do. At first, when I looked at the Street Fighter 6 Battle Pass, it was a bunch of useless things you could have bought if it was just, in a regular in-game store and you happen to have had all this regular currency from just playing the game and you could have bought it. But now it's sort of like you know what, for still playing, here you go. And I was like, you know what, that's fine. Fortnite kind of does the same thing, and people kind of do buy the Battle Pass, but it's whatever. But then sort of looking at it, the Battle Pass costs premium currency. And not only does it take premium currency, it's monthly. So, not only can you not get it a regular way, you have to use $5 every month to buy the Battle Pass. That doesn't stop you from playing the game. It's sort of just like well, why? I understand there's a free version, but when they're encouraging you to pay more for more stuff, just for like a battle hub where you're only going to constantly connect with people, I don't see how that relates. Just because it gives you extra arcade games that have already been available, because they've already been available in other collections that they've done. Like having access to Final Fight 3, I don't think buying Street Fighter 6 is a valid reason to want to own Final Fight 3 or what is a Capcom official emulation of Final Fight 3. Never in any way. I never send that to any road of a valid point. Because since emulators already exist and the fight to sort of stop people from using emulation and sort of game preservation, being able to either buy the old console where it was from and buy the game or buy some port for like a later system that happens, sometimes for like a PS2 or like a PS3, and buy it and just be able to have it for yourself. Because once the server goes down, the thing's kind of gone. But having the real in-life game, it serves, it goes hand in hand. You have the game. Even when the server is gone, you have the game. But having it in something that's as like menial as a battle pass that costs you money to do, it seems sort of disingenuous. I'm asking you for $5 a month on a game that you already paid $60 for, that you're already gonna pay like possibly $24 to $30 for extra characters in the game that we're gonna give you later. So essentially, on just entrance cost, you've paid some 60 plus, we'll say 25 lowest, 85, then plus the battle pass, 90. So in the first month, you've already done $90. And the first character doesn't even come out to the first character didn't even come out till the fall. Mind you, it wasn't even a new character at first. The second character was new. Sure, you give one new character in, and that's supposed to make all of this valid? No. In no case have I heard that having DLC of characters that should have been in game makes sense. Because why did this new person, Aki, have to be in the battle pass when you could have just made her unlockable in game? It's a big fight. Like there's already a conversation for DLC. I said like as long as DLC isn't like a quarter of your roster, because now that means that I basically missed out on a quarter of the roster for the game that had to come out in 4 to 5 years. That feels pretty unfair. That seems like pretty crap. I shouldn't have to miss out on a whole game just because you wanted more money. And if that's what you think about me, and you think about me only as that type of player that's only going to give you money, then by no means will I ever give you any more. Because what's the point? If I want a character, I want to buy the character. I don't want to have to spend 25 to get 4 people. Sometimes I just don't want to use anybody else. I want to use the characters that are already there for a story that doesn't even technically exist. I'm being blatant. I'm being fair. I'm being justifiably as down the center as I can be. Street Fighter 6 has no story. I'm not gonna go down that path. That's a different path of its own. Let's sort of get back to the main point here. I'm sorry for ranting. When something that is as shady as a battle pass seems to come in, you immediately seem to think that premium currency will follow. And it was there. Now, how am I relating this to Destiny? Well, Destiny players have been having this problem for quite a while, where they have been dealing with the fact that there's been so much DLC to download, and all of it costs money. They don't know what to download. They don't know what exactly to get anymore because they don't know what gives you what. That's kind of the fault down of DLC, and sort of how the value of just money seems to really just drive a company and can really break a community. Do we really need to talk about Overwatch 2? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Overwatch 2 is definite within its own. The people that are already playing the game are probably under the thought of sunk cost fallacy, where they've already used so much money on it, may as well keep playing it, versus, well, I'm gonna take my loss and I'm just gonna leave. Because there's just like no point. There would be no indefinite point just to keep going, playing something I've already used money on, that's already betraying me by releasing more stuff and releasing more skins that are already expensive beyond what people think a skin should cost in a game, even if the game was free to play. I draw the line a lot when it comes to how you price a color or how you price art. I get it. People that draw don't get a lot of money, and sometimes being an artist isn't even really that valuable. But sometimes when you're dealing with the common consumer who doesn't always have a lot of money, and then you have to account for inflation half the time, can you really blame me? Can you really blame anyone else for complaining about why is something that much money? Would there ever really be a problem if no one cared? If no, if, I would argue no. If no one really cared about how much it costs, then lo and behold, this problem would have never existed. But it's good that this problem exists because now this conversation can start. I used to trust Street Fighter 6 before it came out, and now I don't. Now, all of that ranting will transition over to why I have this fear for Tekken 8. Given how Mortal Kombat 1 handled some of their stuff in store, and how Street Fighter 6 is handling themselves right now, I'll come back to the Color 2 debacle in a second, but I'll go give you the bigger point here. Given how they're both handling it now, and it sort of was a kind of a point and then not a point. I don't feel comfortable in the developers for Tekken not doing something like this. It would take a lot of it would take a lot of trust for them to basically wipe me off the face of the earth. Because as long as I'm breathing, I'm willing to call them out on their nonsense. I'm willing to sort of give them, I'm sort of willing to give them problems. Because no one should have to suffer through 10 or 12 games, all bigger, in the same form, where you're either a free to play person, you don't really have that much money, so you're just enjoying the game for what it is, or you bought the game and you're trying to get the value of your money by playing it a lot, and then have to be suffered down to all these menial costs. Something for a battle pass to get more stuff for your profile. Some more stuff to get some more skins, some more characters, some more stages. I don't like that. Because now it's no longer become about how good the game is. It's become about, is our base good enough that we can make people spend more money on it? And I don't ever anticipate me liking this, so much to the fact that I am willing to skip the entirety of the next generation of fighting games from the bigger companies, not the smaller one, not the smaller ones. I'm willing to skip an entire generation of fighting games to make that point valid. That I won't stand for something like this. I won't live to see this expand. Everyone else may take part in it, but I don't. That fear of missing out was never there. Because money is very scarce. And I'm not going to be the type of guy to just use money on a whim for something like that. I understand I make money from my job, and then I pay my bills, and I do what I'm supposed to do, and I stay out of trouble, and I'm just being an adult. And I splurge every once in a while, I do. But I'm not the type of person to just justify spending a lot of money on something that has the possibility of going away. I've already had the regret of spending a lot of money on Tekken 7. And at that rate, I've perfectly understood what it's like for a game to have a majority of its characters basically be locked down to purchase. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna tell it as it is. I am a guy that did spend money on Tekken 7 because I was at least excited about the game. I used to play it quite a lot. I wouldn't play it all the time, but I would play it quite a lot. And after that, I didn't really feel so guilty, but the game's sort of like, it's on its lower ends, and the people that still play it are still playing it. That's good for them. But if that transition to 8 is it like fills me with so much doubt that I have to question whether or not I should even buy the game in the amount of time that I wait. I would never even touch the game if that's true. Because that's unfair. It's unfair to me that I have to question everything. It's unfair to people that you always have to constantly question. Are they gonna have premium currency? Am I gonna be able to customize my characters without it making me cost money? Or all this stuff gonna be locked under Battle Pass? Am I gonna have to be concerned about buying some more stuff? Am I gonna have to grind this game for some 20 to 30 hours just to get value out of it? And then immediately, the second you tell yourself, yes, you've kind of sunk yourself into a trap, that's kind of hard to get out of. Slight correction. Characters are unlocked the moment you purchase them in Street Fighter 6. You don't have to interact with the Battle Pass. Okay. On that correction, thank you for that. They are unlocked as you purchase them. It's the fact that there's a pre-time when they ask for a character pass before, because not all characters will be available immediately. Sort of like that fall, winter, spring, summer separation. But even then, you can't guess what months they come out of. So, in all cases, you're correct. The character's available the second you purchase them. But in tandem, look at how long you have to wait for them. You would have been better off just waiting the year versus them offering it one at a time. Let's see. For So if I could discuss this in terms of Tekken 8, what I am afraid of is the second I start the game, I see something that sort of shows a variance of Street Fighter 6 where the battle pass isn't obvious on start. But if I go anywhere else, some remnants of a battle pass just pops up. And then that feeling sinks in another feeling. There's gotta be a premium currency. And if I find that, then I start getting sadder. Okay, yeah, okay. See, no, see, that's, see, thank you for at least, sort of coinciding to that point, at least. Unfortunately, if it wasn't for pre-ordering, games wouldn't get as much hype as they would. You know, sort of the uncommon evil that we don't like. The If people aren't interested, they won't buy it. But that statement is a statement I have always agreed in. It's not a person's job always to want to pre-order. It should honestly go to critics whose job is to be as transparent as possible. Because now we have those companies existing in an area to where we can constantly contact them. I don't think it would be out of the realm not only to make the critics responsible, but to make the companies responsible. Well, I'll do that in different steps. Not only to make the critics responsible, but also the developers of the game and the publisher of the game. All of them should be equally as responsible. Critics should be transparent and do all their research before they start a game. Even if it was just a beta, you check everything from the beta going on downwards. Then you have the developers. You start questioning developers on why this was there. Why do we need this? What was the purpose of that? Why can't you just tell me? Why can't you just say, hey, in a year, we're working on characters right now. If you help us with some stuff, we're gonna be offering you some in-game items, and if you help us by buying it, it helps us develop. It helps us develop these characters. That would be perfect. If you would be as open like that to say, hey, we're developing more characters for you guys down the line, and you just keep updating, and you just keep giving people information. You keep hyping people up over new characters. You show them stuff, awesome animations, really nice things that not only are attracting new people, but the older people that are still playing the game so much that they're willing to pass the word of mouth to other players. And then that's how your game generically grows. It's because not only are you showing that you want them to keep playing, but it's that you regard them as a consumer and that you take their input as extremely valid. I mean, well, not as extremely valid, but you take their input as extremely important to your genre. And sort of like in the game you build. To where not only like, hey, I recommend it to you, recommend this, I'll play it with my friend. I come on every day. You don't gotta give me dailies, but I come on and I play every day. Just make it valuable. Give some sense of a reward system for being able to play the game long enough. Give them like enough money that they're able to customize their characters constantly, coming in and going out. It, it's not a hard thing. It's not difficult. Even playing online, honestly, should at least give you access to some of your colors. You do some 2 hours online. Give them like two colors per like every hour they've played online, and then after a certain point, they don't start getting colors. They start getting in-game currency so that they can start using the customization shop. It seems like a valid reward. And then all you gotta do is just keep releasing stuff for that. Just keep releasing stuff, releasing custom sets, releasing stuff from all your older stuff. Your Bandai Namco, you probably bought so many, like, previous things before, or have so many old franchises and some old costumes that are nostalgic enough. That being a very negative word, mind you, nostalgia is very dangerous. But it goes without saying, having enough nostalgic properties to where you can use it for anything, even a nice little float over character, or a nice little interactive tank, maybe something. Something that makes those rewards feel valuable. Because not only can you change how they look, you can sort of implement how they look, or make someone look like a different character, or give homage to a different character, or say, hey, I made this lol, this Lamau XDXD. It's there has to be some give. There has to be some give to let your players go. You gotta let them go. I could understand stopping players from cheating. I could understand you don't want people modding your game online. But what if they just did it at their own house? What's that to do with anything? That doesn't give you the validness to charge people mods. I know that they're gonna try that, but that doesn't give the validity to charge mods. But get back to the point. If entering a game doesn't give me that peace of mind that starting that game is not gonna reveal something scary, I would immediately delete it and see if I can get a refund. I would so quickly. And a lot of people are going to try to call me. I was like, no, you wouldn't. You'll just keep playing. No, uh, I have deleted games for worse. Just because I play Gundam Battle Operation 2 doesn't mean that I don't play it free to play. I log on every day. I do what I do what I go there to do, and then I leave. Sometimes I don't even play a game. Sometimes I just log in and then I just leave again. I don't really give them like that many minutes of interaction. I just do what I want and leave. Now, I get that that's how a lot of other games work too, where you're just in it for the logins, but a game that's supposed to bring you in to keep playing the game, where the rewards are constantly flowing in and it feels like you're achieving something. Being able to customize things to your own will gives players that value of wanting to come back. But when you're constantly nickel and diming them for stuff that they could have just unlocked, or that you even could have put in some random shop off on the side, like, or just like randomly put it in the shop, like battle hub items. Oh, arcade machine for this game, this game, this game, this game, and you made it so much that they could buy all of them, and then they could just assort them in their own little way, so that they could have their friends playing it at the same time. Just honestly, in reality, if you had made them use $60 and you wanted to really give them an active port for everything, and you wanted to give them that, why not just make all those arcade things some number that needs them to play the game longer? I'm pretty sure everyone's over there wondering about it. Marvel vs. Capcom, the original one. Like a port for that one. Some people couldn't get access to Marvel vs. Capcom Origins because it's not there anymore. Or some people couldn't get access to Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and don't want to spend $1,000 on the arcade one-up cabinet that has online connectivity. Maybe offer an official port in Street Fighter 6 and go, hey, you don't necessarily have to play Street Fighter 6. you can play these games over here, and you can sort of just get them by just sort of playing the game long enough to get the cabinet. If you want to play with another friend, you can get a second cabinet, sort of line it up, make it so that those two kind of go against each other. You know, if you really want it to be valuable and you wanted that game to be worth more than the $60 that you charge it for, give it the opportunity to not only be a server amongst itself, but something that makes your older ports playable to everyone. Kind of like that stupid arcade stadium you made some time ago. All right, now I'm just gonna get mad. Hold on a second. All right, now I'm just getting mad. Fuck it. All right, rant time 2. I could swear Capcom had a beat 'em up collection. I could also swear they had 2 fighting game collections, one specifically for Street Fighter and then one specifically for the arcade ports that never went to console. I could swear they did. And then there was Arcade Coliseum, where there were a bunch of Capcom games in that too. And then there were a bunch of other ports for that. See, this is what's making me mad. Why would you offer secondary ports on something so menial? Why would you offer me Final Fight 3 when I could probably just go find Final Fight 3 on an emulator and just go play it? It doesn't feel valuable. You would have been better off charging me $100 for Street Fighter 6 and telling me, hey, this is not only just a Street Fighter game, this is also this is also a port library where you're able to play against other people. That would be perfectly near $100 because now that's $100 worth of official ports by the company that they have to keep the server running on. Well, I know eventually the server would run out, but give me all the games, let me purchase all the machines, and let me put them the way I want to put them. I don't see the problem with that. I don't see the problem with that. It's just, why are they being so dumb? You can make a fair amount of money just doing the right things. And yet, we as players constantly don't look at it as not only did they release a game, but they released it again. Or they remade it. Sometimes a remake will do better because all the systems will have changed, and they thought, oh, let's give them this game in a different way, sort of just like that. I could sometimes understand a remake existing, but sometimes you just don't need it. Because let's be honest, Street Fighter Fighting Collection was definitely a delay time in between what I think was Street Fighter V and Street Fighter 6, when Street Fighter 6 was still in development, and they needed, people to be more distracted by time. So they said, what are we going to do? We're going to offer these old arcade ports that never had console ports, and so to give it to them in one active thing. And I could guarantee you, even after looking them up, they probably don't have a lot of people playing them. They probably most have, what, 200, 300 people playing it? Maybe like a cap of like 1,000. Who knows? You know what? I'll do you guys a big favor. I'm not gonna lie on you guys. I'm gonna do the research myself. Let me see, where is it? Fighting collection. What's this? What's Steam DB saying? Yeah, there we go. Right now it has a. Right now it only has. Sounds like I dislike. Sounds like I dislike the business models more than anything. Usually they try to max profit before value. Yeah, that's actually like a perfect definition of why I don't like them. Because why have a developer waste so much time trying to make a good game but then tell them to sort of nickel and dime small shit that they worked hard on under more fucking money instead of just making the game more money and being perfectly transparent. I would rather you had charged me $80 and told me this is why it's $80. This is how much you get for $80. I may not like the $80 price tag, but at least it's transparent. I would rather transparency. I would rather transparency to know that you can make money from it versus underpricing and then nickel and diming. Same thought with free to play. If it's a free to play game, guess how much money I'm using on it? $0. I'm not wasting any money for it. The game is free to play, and you tell me to play the game to get the stuff, then guarantee I'm going to play the game to get whatever I want with no money. You tell me that there is some money shop. If I had to spend money, and there's a money shop, much like I said earlier in this conversation, I'm leaving. Because there's no way in hell you're going to nickel and dime me out. You can throw that situation out the door. Take your assumptions and just sort of put it back on the shelf where they belong. Because they're in no way gonna make me what a lot of other people are. Some are just addicted to gambling. Some just like the game. Some just like the series. Some just like the lore. It is likely. Some people do exist for the lore. But other times, I just want to play a game. I'm there to get a challenge, have some fun, maybe cool off after work. I'm not, maybe sometimes not looking for a relaxation game. Sometimes just looking for a challenge. I'm not here to get nickel and dimed all the way through just because you thought it was okay that you could charge the game for $60 and then think, oh, he's worth a lot more money. As long as you can just buy the base game and play. How far? Microtransactions as how far? Because I'm saying that your base game should cost lower if you're gonna start charging for extra stuff. If you make the game 20, and then by just having only the fighting game, and then you have the characters cost a little bit more, or even if you have the game cost $20, and then you charge like they sell power creep and live service, especially with casual games. Well, that is true. That is very true. But I'm under the assumption, not in disagreeing with your point at all. I'm under the discussion that if you were gonna do this before when you started, charge me less. You don't have to be blatantly under about it. Just charge less. My opinion is that I wouldn't get it, but if you are gonna do it, charge less. If you really wanted more people to play it, why would you go as high as 60? Why not go to something like $20? If you start at $20, more people can't afford it. More people will play it for $20. You probably would have gotten like 3 million sales in like 2 months. Oh wait, 3 million sales in maybe in like 1 month. Because $20. For a AAA game for characters that you only have to get later? I'm not gonna say sign me up. I'm gonna say that sounds vastly better than $60 plus $25 for a character pass and $5 for a battle pass. That sounds like vastly better. If we can, let's just we'll sort of do a little clarify back on the Capcom skin debacle. Which is fine, because I don't need the cosmetics to learn or compete. And that's fine. In a pro sense, that's okay. In a pro sense, that's right. But are 4 characters really worth $25? That you only get over a year. Let's take it a step further. Free to play. I would actually take that statement perfectly. That's an actual perfect statement. If it's a free to play if it's a free to play game, and you're gonna charge me for characters, and you tell me I have to wait a year for a free to play game and I have to keep playing it, fine. I only get access to 1 or 2 characters and I have to keep using rotational characters throughout the entire time, fine. That's great. I hate shops. But if I didn't have to pay money to do it, sure. I don't have to buy skins. I can just use base colors. I don't care. I'm just against the case of it existing without transparency about it. If it's free, then I know to expect it. If it's $60, I don't want to see it. It's not anything. Because even in free to play, you could still just release the characters. Give them some hype trailers and say, hey, this character costs this amount of money. And you could get them on this date. Or if you bought this pass, it'll come out on this day. You know, give an option. Give an option. And this is for if you do play it. At this rate, I'm already out of Street Fighter 6 so far. Me getting it in any variant sort of undoes my credibility. If I get it free to play, then that's like the only time I'm gonna get it. Maybe. I've already told people I wasn't gonna get it. I think Danny I've already told in here. By the way, he does stream on Twitch now. He streams on Twitch now. Take a look at him. I'll see if I can leave the link for his channel in the chat. That's not for you, Theo. That's for anyone that randomly pops in. Because if I were to get Street Fighter 6 right now, and it were in a free-to-play mode, that'd be the only way I play it. And even then, I wouldn't play it forever. I say, don't be married to any opinion. Okay, that's fair. You know what? I'll play the clarifying point. If Street Fighter 6 were to come out free to play sometime this year, I don't mean available on PlayStation Plus. I mean if Street Fighter 6 were to become a free to play game, I would then play it. That'd be the only way. Now, as for Tekken 8, if Tekken 8 does not have a free to play version, I wouldn't play it if all this currency existed under it. Because I'm tired of just having a game that's not finished and then charge me more so that it can be finished. I mean, I'm not immune to that problem. I've already said I did for Tekken 7. I've done the same thing for Guilty Gear Strive. I've bought characters when I've been interested, but at least they've been available in a singular manner. That's fine. If I want to play one character for the rest of my life, let me play one character for the rest of my life. Let me be free to play with the option to buy one character. Basically, learn from your mistakes. Learn from DOA 6 Core Fighters' mistakes and use it correctly. You want a good gameplay loop like Street Fighter 6 with the option of buying singular characters. That's all you want. That's all you want. As in, like, not a discount game. But even then, wasn't that conception, like, basically taken away by the fact that, a lot of free-to-play games are basically, basically cost a lot? Like, in an overall sense? To where, I'm not calling Genshin Impact the beacon of hope here, but games like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact have already shown that you can have high budget as long as you stay transparent. You can have a high budget and be able to still play your game as long as you keep giving them stuff and you make it transparent. It's a gotcha game, definitely, but they're equally transparent in the fact that, and you can still be a free to play player in a game that wants you to be free to play. It might make it difficult, but you can be a free to play player in a game that's already equally as transparent. Yes, free to play is whale beat and high cost of completion. Yeah, this is in no defense of free to play games. I'm just saying, free to play has basically sort of taken away the thought that a game needs to cost $60 to be like high art. Is what I'm saying. But you are correct. It is whale bait. And if you're telling me that I can basically play a game without having to use money, and the worst I have to do is like come back every once in a while and like use no money to try to roll for a character and I don't get the character, I honestly want fighters to go free to play and DLC per character, like you mentioned. It'd be nice. It'd be nice. But then you'd have to convince like everyone else who plays fighters that that's the valid solution. And then one company would have to go, but that's only first episode. That's first episode away. Only first. That's like one step away from free to play with gotcha unlocks. Maybe, maybe. But then games necessarily won't have to cost as much. I get the phrase whale bait, but whale bait, they would still be getting their characters. Now, I'm not saying characters will be affordable, but at least the chance of rolling something does pop up. And so, like, okay, this, if you go like character roll, I wonder how you would do that. But they would have to have like a lot of characters on start. That's why it would take so long. Like, the entirety of what fighting games do would basically delay them another 4 to 5 years, because they would have to make all the characters. You'd have to make a lot of characters to start, and then they'd have to keep unlocking newer people because they don't want the older people. Let's sort of I'm not gonna sum up. Let's let's expand a little. The reason why I bring up premium currency is because we are having an issue currently with Capcom when it comes with I guess what's known as the second skin color. The second skin color. The second skin. They had a debacle to where the price was small, or small in terms of what a skin would cost, but the price was too large to get with the lowest currency. You couldn't get with the second bit of premium currency, mind you. I'm talking in the premium coin now. You couldn't get them with the $5 version of premium currency. You couldn't get them with the $10 currency because it was already it's under it like by a couple points, to where you would have to get another another 5, so you either spend it from 10-10 or like 10-5, or you just get the $20 one, to which gives you enough for 2 people. But in turn, you've just spent $20 to unlock one set. Even though it gives you the ability for second people, you put $20 in the game. And as a lot of gacha people sort of understand, you will never be able to get rid of your premium currency. Your premium currency will always sit at an odd number, because there will never be any way to use it all. And if you are under the completionist problem, not Gerard the completionist, but if you're under, if like you're like a completionist, or you like to see things at 0, which is most people, or at least a good amount of people, you always want your money to be at 0. You always want everything to be at 0, so that you know you've used it all. But there's no chance, because you'll always have like maybe 5, sometimes 10, sometimes like, I don't know, 35, and something just costs like 30 and nothing costs 5. It is by far the most egregious way that I think they're going to keep abusing their premium currency system. Luckily for them, people who are still playing Street Fighter 6 right now, for whoever buys the Battle Pass, it only costs $5. And there is a $5 option to buy that stinking pass. Even though people have been more used to, well, why don't you just take the money directly instead of making me pay for a premium coin? The premium coin makes you overpay usually, because they'll always give you a bonus number you can't get rid of. So, it's kind of Capcom being sneaky in a non-Capcom way. Or it's a way of seeing that the developers have seen other games do that and are now aware that that's possible. And that, in turn, is why I don't like premium currency. Because when developers start thinking about, well, how much can I make this so much that it doesn't use everything, and then make it so that the those coins in that premium coin shop no longer reflect something, or you make something in a store that costs 5 too much, but then you can only get 5, and it like, oh, you see like a $5 thing, okay, so I can get this for $5, but then it gives you like a bonus 2. It's just like, it's just trying to keep you going, it's trying to keep you spending, it's trying to hook you in, and then once you're in, immediately, it may not pop up, so I shouldn't use the word immediately, but you'll notice it eventually that you're gonna keep playing it a little bit more. Where not be like every one day or such, or maybe you get so addicted to it you start playing it day by day. And Cat is out of the bag with Mod Station. Yeah, if we dislike as players, we have to learn to ignore BS like we ignore ads. Can you tell that to the professional players so they won't do that? That'd be great. Cause I don't think it's like usually normal people as often as it is the older people who are just used to playing it and or play it in a monetary sense to where a good majority of their income comes from being sponsored to play the game in a professional manner. Either way, am I allowed to throw in one hot take? I don't like the phrase professional gamer anymore. The pros are probably the best at this. Ignoring BS? Yeah. They do. They do try to learn the game. Maybe if mines were very, very similar to it. Maybe if mines are very similar. We casually get cosmetics to hold our interest while we don't learn the game. LOL. Huh. Hold interest. Yeah, the pros are probably the best at ignoring bad games. Or bad systems. But not for them playing bad systems. Most of them playing bad systems before. They're not great at ignoring them. They're just playing them. It, they're just first to learn how to break something, or first to wanna see if they can go learn something else they need. Because when your game has a tour and the money's there, of course you're gonna chase it. I can't fault them for chasing where the money goes, but sometimes really fucked up. But even then, I'm gonna throw this hot take in the air. I don't like the term professional fighting game player. Just like the term professional video game player is very in the air. Because then that assumes that your value in playing games has some end game. This is not saying that there aren't people that are good at playing fighting games. It's just that in the end, there's nothing for them. If we're really gonna if we're really gonna use that. Monetization as well as bad mechanics like Shield and Type Luna. Well, they fixed Shield because the casuals complained about it. Yeah, they fixed Shield in the game because because all the casuals complained. Or we, as players, or their player base, complained about Shield being too strong. Uh, I agree. When I say pro, I mean the top players. Okay. Um, sure, but being the top player in Street Fighter doesn't necessarily mean that you should get money to play it. That just means like, at best, if the company like refers to you, the end game should have been to try to work with the company, not to have to distrust them on everything. Like, I remember, I think it was Combo Fiend, who used to be really good at Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I think he worked with them at one point for, I think it was, I think it was social media relating to that. Hold on, because I think he still works for them now. Hold on. Hmm. Yeah. See, like right now, apparently he was a producer for Spider-Man, for Insomniac Spider-Man. He was a former avid player of Marvel's Capcom 3. Because I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, the goal is to want to work in gaming by playing games. You want to show your interest in game by not only being preferentially the best, but that in game sort of being able to work in that company to where you can help other people, so that you can make good games the for the place where you came from. It wouldn't hurt so much. So bad. He apparently works under Insomniac now. And Spider-Man is a really good series. The Spider-Man games are like a really good series of games for players. Yeah, you sort of see how he's working out. But I don't think that being a pro gamer has a sustainable. It doesn't have like a sustainable income to live life under, especially under inflation. There's no there's no value in making a league that doesn't make money. Players are basically being contracted for what, like barely 50,000. Some say like 200,000. Like when Overwatch League, somebody said, "Oh, the minimum was like 50,000," and it was, and the top was like, cap unlocked. It's like, no cap locked. That means eventually some player could have got paid $10 million to play Overwatch. Eventually, to where that would have been more regarded, to where like Overwatch would have been more regarded to like an NFL or an NBA, something that took eons to get popular from, or at least something that took a lot of money and a lot of value and a lot of spectacle and a lot of entertainment to sort of get valuable from. Games upgrade every single year. That needs your company to have to use more money each and every year. And even as you mentioned earlier, they want to maximize profit. That doesn't mean they want to keep using money on these older games by like graphically updating them, which would have been good for players, but at the same time, they're not trying to use a lot of money to make the game. The budget for them, according to them, is already too damn high, and so now games cost $70 now. I'm not saying being a pro gamer is bad. I'm saying the term pro gamer is not a professional game player should not be a term or even a valid option. It's a non-valid option. Because when Overwatch League went out, that was the best chance. Because I'm pretty sure just because Riot is good at, having teams, and they are really good at having people that consider themselves professional gamers at the end of the day, they even have to supplement their own income by streaming. That means that they don't make enough money being a professional gamer. Even under sponsors, that means they don't make enough money to survive. Think about what that means. I don't want to like rant for that forever. I'll also sort of stick a pin in that. If being a pro gamer is kind of like a valid option, then I would consider professional fighting game player as an invalid option. Due to how much a professional gamer who does compete in like big events that sometimes pay a lot of money have in have sort of like a backup, because there's no point. You can't get the value back for them. There's no value in it. People sort of don't understand the fact that those teams technically are t-shirt companies. They are merchandise sellers. The only way you sell merchandise is for whatever it is to be either not only good quality, but whatever they promote also has to be good. So if your team isn't good, why am I gonna buy it? Just because they're from my city? No, that doesn't mean anything. They have to at least be good to get my support. Professional gamer from New York and from New Jersey, and it's not gonna prove anything. I'm not gonna just buy their jersey because I am a fan of them. Sorry, I'm not gonna just buy their jersey because they're from where I'm from. I'll buy a jersey if I'm a fan of the team or a fan of the player. I'm gonna go off that rant and sort of come back to the original point. So, my overall fear for Tekken 8 right now is from everything we've talked about, just the feature of a premium currency and it costing money, and the fact that the characters will still cost money, and the fact that by the time you even try anything else, it's already too late. You've already sort of thrown yourself by the wayside, and there's no way to come out of it. I know, like, being scared sometimes isn't the greatest option, but it works for me because it keeps me kind of sane, if you will. It keeps me sane. It keeps me willing to ask questions, willing to sort of think about it from a perspective other than my own. Oh, maybe they want to just do this. Oh, maybe they just want to do that. Oh, maybe they want to do this and this and this and this. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, sometimes they just want to do it. I get it. But other times, I'll just choose to quit and just play something else. There's like a million games I haven't played, a million systems I haven't owned, a million games I'd like to own. I still have a job. I still have the ability to pay bills. I still have the ability to go on trips with my friends. Still have the ability to go outside, go have nice conversations with some people I might meet if I stop being so socially awkward about it. I have like a million things to do, but if you can't convince me to play your game by at least giving me something valuable and not feel like I'm being used as like a little stipend check every time I boot up the game, then I won't be inclined to I won't be inclined to play your game because I in turn do not feel responsible for your success, because the game being good is what I as a consumer expect it to be, not what no not just the bare minimum. The game is supposed to be good. It's supposed to make me interested. Then maybe I'll put money into it. Maybe. Doesn't mean that I will, but but just like a game, it may not be likely, and it won't be like that for a while. I would just like a game where you don't bullshit me on anything. You don't just sort of just you don't just like lie directly to my face. I guess I'm asking for too much, but at this case, because I'd rather lie. As long as you don't lie, you may have my attention, but overall, I'm just gonna, you know, I'll be me, my opinion will be my opinion, and that's it. So, I'd like to thank you guys for at least coming up, or at least coming on to watch. And I'd like to at least offer you guys a solstice. I would at least like to offer you guys a thank you for coming on. I know I ramble a little bit and it wasn't very coherent. I will try my best to fix that in the later streams. Which means, yeah, I am officially back for a little while and I'm willing to have some conversations. And I'm glad that this kind of conversations can exist now. So, overall, I would like to say thank you for everyone for coming. Yeah, if you would show up half the time, it'd be great. I'm not gonna be on for that much longer, so I'm about maybe 13 minutes left, so. Because you've already missed the majority of the conversation, good sir. Good, right land. So, as I will.
What's the... Dodge this!
So I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today. Thank you for hanging out for the little bit of time you came. This will be like the last little bit of time before I get off, so if you'd like to, you can sort of like, you know, you can head out if you want. I'm on for like the last little bit of time. Just burn a little bit of time. If you want to ask any questions, I will be glad to answer them for you as I stop looking at the screen.
Freeze! What's the hurry?
We should pick one game to commit to. Maybe I question it, cause one game to commit to.
What do you think, cutie?
Do you mean in a streaming sense or in a real life sense? Because in a real life sense, I've already committed to one game. I'm already down to one card game where not a lot of time go to anything else. In terms of right now, since I'm only ever playing so many games optionally, there's never one fighting game where I pick up that I use most of my time on, honestly. Short cliff. Oh well. Actually, the thing's over there, so it's over there anyway. So let's keep going.
Is this an answer from this world?
Neo, what game in particular would you like me to consider? Honestly. It's under me. Yeah, it's under me. Definitely under me. Grand Blue because it's free. That does take away Strive though, and you put a lot of your money in Strive. Are you willing to do that? Jesus Christ, let me start that shit. He's out real fast. He is out real fast. He's out super fast. God dang it, you! Yeah. You back? Okay. This guy. Where's that?
Come a little closer.
This Strive, your type of game though, it's very punish heavy. I was more of a Sam Show guy, honestly. If you would believe me or not, I am more of a Sam Show guy. I'm very willing for patience. At the top there. Where are they at? Oh, they're there? Okay. One more guy? Oh, this guy over here, okay. Like I told you, the condition for Street Fighter 6 is that it has to go free to play. That's the condition. If it doesn't, I'm not even touching it. Strive, I'm kind of like getting my bearings with because I don't mind that. And plus, I'm not sure how many characters Strive has left, so.
Is this an answer from this world?
So more of an overall, I am willing to give Strive like somewhat of a chance, not as a because of how crazy it is. No, I'm usually a guy of challenges. That's why I play so many games, and that's why I don't dedicate so much money to it. I don't dedicate so much money to any game. Like I said, Neo. In terms of this case, it's not because I am not used to Strive. It's more I'm there for the challenge as I should be, and that's kind of how I exist, sort of. I am there for the challenge, not for the complaints. And if I can't get over the challenge, then the issue's primarily with me, not willing to try the challenge. Plus, it does feel really unfair that I don't give someone's game a chance and I just choose to complain about it. But for Street Fighter 6, it's kind of a half problem, because the only problem I have is that it's very, very money hungry in the way that it approaches it. The way that it approaches itself, and its developers don't really care. That's my problem with Street Fighter 6 on the minimum chance. On any other chance, it's kind of just, as you expect it to be, just a problem.
A reward on the road.
The pitch black whale inhabiting the outer sea depths.
Too tall? Too tall. Where's the entrance for the castle, right? So besides that, how is everyone else's day? Cause I'm sort of just getting prepared for what I have to do later on. For when I have to then talk to my you guys about later stuff today. Yeah, not you, bro. Pretty chill day. Yeah.
Dandelions? Of course they're flowers.
Got some snacks this morning. That sounds great. I'm on for like not that long. Then I've gotta relax for later today, so I'm not too sure how I would even have time to. Not even in like a boy sense. It's more like a well damn. How would I take care of that? Take care of that problem. Potentially, I'll see, but I can't promise the being able to play today. Because even me doing this stream was very last second, honestly. God, damn it! Not again! Get on the right. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. Thank you. Don't do that. That worked. Okay, good.
That doesn't sound very good.
One more. Oh. Okay. So, am I safe to call it here? I am. I'll give it 9 more minutes if. Screw it. I'm good. I'm good. I think I've done it before, but I'm pretty good. I think I've done it. Yeah, let me see. Nope, don't have enough. Nope. Cool, don't have enough. I get the feeling that these enemies are like all the way out. Let me see. Okay. Oh, out here. Yeah, okay. Oh. Yeah. Alright, I think that's safe to go here. Well, thank you guys for coming out. Sorry I couldn't be much of a big talk after a certain amount of times, but thank you guys for at least coming out to at least hear me sort of rant, and if you had some opinions, you let them out. I'm glad that you were here. It at least gives me a little bit of a reason to sort of keep doing it, whether it's one person or 1 million people. It's always good to have someone here to at least share a separate point. Definitely don't want to exist in an echo chamber of people. I'm always here for various thoughts. So, thanks for hanging out, and maybe next time we might be able to have a not so somber point. But at least this ended very whole. Very, very answering. Very telling. Very able to shift in opinion. Slightly. So, thank you all for coming, and, now go outside, go touch some grass for once, because before it starts snowing, you might want to go touch some grass. Alright, see you guys later.